10,
9, 8,
7,
6,
3, 2,
1.
0.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Dash League matchup. Today we have UNSC and Control. Looks like we're just waiting on one or two more players to join before we begin. We got those standings for the season here. So we got a Dasher tier matchup between UNSC, the top team in Dasher right now, and Control, another very tough Dasher matchup for you guys today. Seeing who's going to come out on top, looking like UNSC the favorite, but Control always a tough beat. Should be great. You can see these matches coming up. Make sure to watch every single one of those and to subscribe to the Dash League channel so that you are able to catch up on every matchup in the league. Yep, always comment which team you think is going to win, your favorite players, your favorite moments. It's all here on Dash League Network. Just waiting on our fifth person, and we will get right into the match.
Oh man, I'm excited for this match. What about you, Quick?
Very excited. Anytime that I have scrimmed or played a match against either of these teams, they always seem to, in a word, crush me. So, two very competitive teams here. Yeah, I've spent a time or two in Dasher tier, and let me tell you, it is not a place you want to be if you are just a normal player like me, because there's some amazing players in there, got amazing teams, amazing showings from both sides here today. So it should be very exciting, very competitive, very fun, and I'm excited. You want to read off those maps for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So today's cycle 6, we've got Abyss, followed by a Quarry Domination, and then if it needed, which we'll see, we'll have a control point on Stadium as per the usual. This is our final match before we end up in finals, which is very exciting. I'm very excited for finals.
Yes,
Uh,
indeed.
Yeah, I don't think this match will make or break UNSC or Control being in Dasher for finals, but to be determined. It kind of depends on how badly one or the other gets beaten, if at all.
Yeah, it could definitely affect the standings here, and an upset could. I don't know if Control is able to beat UNSC badly enough to knock them from that top position. The gap is pretty big, but a large upset here could definitely disrupt the rankings a little bit, move these teams around, and affect our post-season bracket. So,
Yeah,
always
for
excited.
sure. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. I've played against UNSC once or twice in the past couple weeks. I haven't really played Control in a while, but I will say that when I have played with and or against UNSC, it's been something to behold. I
Yeah,
believe
I
this is our
found when I was. Yep.
last cast of the day as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. I interrupted. But it seems whenever I was playing Control, they were always positionally just crushing us. Like they were always there to the button first. They were always to the payload when we weren't there. And when we were playing UNSC, it just seemed like they were just killing us. Like I was just killing. I was getting like 5 and 20 or whatever on my KD. So interesting to see how those strategies, if they're still prevalent in that way, show up today, and which one will come out on top.
All right, yeah. And we are on our last cast of the day, to my knowledge anyway. We've had 4 other casts. Make sure if you haven't, go check those out. Those are we've had a couple really good games today, especially, I don't want to be biased or nothing, but Wolf v. Rook, that was a pretty close game. So, make sure to go check that out and leave a like. But other than that, we had Wolf v. Rook, and then we had Hacks versus Jester, another really good game. Then we had not Supernova versus Life, right? No, there was
I
another one between
believe,
those.
yeah. I don't remember
Sith
what
and
time.
Ajax. Or no, Acid and Ajax. But yeah, we had Acid and Ajax, and then we had, just before this, it might still actually be going on, we have Supernova and Life. And then we've got this match for today, and this should be our final match of Cycle 6 before we get our lineups for finals, hopefully tomorrow. I don't want to put too much pressure on the board or anything, but hopefully we'll get our lineups for tomorrow. Really looking forward to seeing what our matchups are going to be, and really looking forward for these finals. Finals is always my favorite part of the season. We get a lot of activity in the community, and everything kind of ramps up. Everyone gets excited. Everyone really gets into the league as a whole. So I'm really excited to see how everything turns out.
Yep. Really hoping Sky stays in Sprinter, because if we win really well this cycle, we could end up in Dasher, and I kind of want to actually do well in finals. So hoping we just stay near the top of Sprinter and we can get an exciting run, hopefully in the finals.
Yeah, you and I have opposite problems. I was really hoping we'd stay in Sprinter, because even though we probably wouldn't win, we'd at least have a challenge. And now I'm kind of worried we're going to drop down to Walker. And I'm not saying that all Walker teams are inferior to us by any means. I think that there's a lot of really good Walker tiers that are going to give us a lot of good Walker teams that are going to give us the challenge. I don't know. I've been in Walker for 3 seasons now, if that is the case, and I've gotten second in 2 of them. So we'll see how that runs out. I'm really hoping we stay in Sprinter just for the sake of my sanity. But yeah, still waiting on a 5th from UNSC. I got
Yeah,
4 more minutes, I believe.
I think so, although I don't know if Control would try to draw a forfeit here, since it's the last cycle and they're probably hoping to just get good practice before finals. So that would
Fair
probably
assumption.
be it, and just let that last player get there. So we will stand by.
Shout out to Not Gollum for casting this match, by the way. I don't want to leave that unheard. He is casting our match. He is going to be running all of our graphics and making sure all our drones are running correctly. So big shout out to him. Let me pull up the stream on my phone, actually, so I can catch some 20, 30-second delayed chat messages and see what's up.
Yep, always got to keep an eye on those. Always be active in the chat. Always be talking about your favorite moments, players, teams in the chat. Let us know.
M-Dub saying he's hoping for a quick, boring match. I don't know, man. These teams are pretty up there. We'll see. It kind of depends.
Yeah, I mean, if I was betting on a cycle to have boring maps, Abyss, man, gotta be my least favorite map in the whole wide world. But some people really enjoy it, so it can get
Yeah,
quite competitive for sure.
It's not my least favorite map above all. There's definitely some maps I would rather die than ever play again. But in terms of league maps, it's so common in pubs, and it makes it really hard to enjoy it, because it's a good map. It's a really good map. It's so overplayed all the time, and that's what really sucks.
Yeah, it's a really interesting map. Like, I don't know how long you've been playing the game, but I played back in Alpha when there was only 5. And they were called by color. There was teal, it was deathmatch, and then there were 2 payloads and 2 DOMs, and Abyss was not one of them. So the newness of Abyss makes it get voted a lot, I think.
Yeah, I have not been playing since the maps were colors. I have been playing since cycle 3 of season 5. So but that being said, we actually do have a full lineup now. Do you think, Not Gollum, we could get those lineups so that Quick and I can go over the lineups real quick before we start? Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Quick, you want to start?
Sure, I'll go ahead and list that. Control. We got Servoid, Calamity, Mini Turret, Cars, and Meep. 5 elite players. I have had the pleasure of being destroyed in matches by all 5 of those, and they're all quite good.
Then on UNSC side, we've got Sandman, Crusader VR, Rusty, Oogie Boogie, and Taser, another 5 people who I personally have gotten absolutely screwed over by in several scrims and in pubs. Very excited to see how this match turns out.
Yep, for sure. My prediction, I'm gonna have to say, I'm not too familiar with like the current state of these teams. But I'll cheer for Control just because, they're the lower rated team, so I'd really love to see an upset here. Of course, in Dasher, everyone is amazing, so it's hard to call anything an upset. But
Yeah, especially this season. A lot of the Dasher teams have been, well, that's not entirely true, but it feels like a lot of the Dasher teams have been really close together in terms of skill. But with the amount of teams this season, it's been kind of hard to say one way or the other where any one team stands up until right now. So I'm going to probably agree with you and say I'm going to root for Control just because they're lower on the board, but it's anyone's game as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, definitely looking to see who wins this payload, because that'll see which positioning team can really get that teamwork better. As for the Dom, it's going to require coordination, but payload is just really about that teamwork. It's the teamwork map. Domination you can get really by with just having more killing power, having more experience, having more skill, but payload can be anyone's game. If you're focusing, the other team can be completely out killing you. I remember one time we were matched against a Dasher team and they just completely outkilled us. Every single one of us went negative, but we won that match 100 to pre-check because they just could not focus on the cart. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, a difficult matchup as always, and I'm excited to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, we've actually got Will Smith in the chat. Shout out to Will Smith. Control shall win 100% against 18%. I don't know about that, but here we go. I guess we'll find out. Let's check out some rollouts. We got Meep just hanging out on rails. Let's see who. It's Control, so that means that Meep's picking up shocks. We're probably gonna have mini turret on rockets, though that is to be determined. Servoid picking up the dash over there. Calamity picking up the secondary dash, probably waiting. We got cars on SMGs. Love the Digi. And then also mini turret on SMGs. Wow. Okay, so 2 SMGs and at least 1 set of shocks immediately taken out by Sandman. Picking up that dash and moving out. Oh, taken out
Here
by
we go.
Calamity. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw those shocks being taken up early. Abyss, the most low-ceilinged payload map, and so those rockets are really hard to set up, especially this early. You'll often see much more shocks, sometimes even double shock players early on, because rockets have really low viability in this low ceiling. You see, you just can't just shoot them up and curve them down any which way, like on payload and cannon and launch pad. Payload rockets really only come into prevalence later on, post checkpoint on this map, because of the low ceiling. It opens up later on. So interesting to see which team will be able to master both types of heavies early and late on defense in this map.
Yeah, for sure. Really good cart focus by UNSC here too. I don't think cart has stopped moving since we got going. We're going to be entering water room here with just about 4 minutes and I'm assuming 40 seconds left, depending on if red side control can push up and disrupt that cart. But it feels like every time they try, just like that, they get taken out. Rusty back on cart. Immaculate cart focus here. Really trying to tell his team to push up as much as possible. They really want to make sure they clear out the space here. So
yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than facing a cart rider who's just like, usually you'll see a cart rider be like a good rocketeer or someone who maybe doesn't have the highest kill power.
Unfortunate suicide by Rusty falling into the water.
There. You hate to see it. Which is more annoying? Chat, let's see which is more annoying. Falling into the water or jumping on the front of the payload? What's your
Honestly,
personal?
in my personal, it's falling into the water. It's because it's right there. Like, why are you how are you hitting the water?
That's true. I'd say falling in the water definitely happens to me more. So I might say that jumping onto the front of the payload is more annoying, just because it never happens. So if it does happen to you, it's like, man, you really could have prevented that so easily.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Good rockets up by Car here. Really trying to make sure that cart stays clear. And he doesn't even need to worry about it. He's got his team. Oh, taken out by Sandman. Really quick counter. I did not expect that. For sure. Another good kill on Calamity. Just kind of waiting around, waiting for his dash to respawn.
Yep, for sure. You see that rocket point at the top of the hill there where Taser is now. Rockets usually get set up there by red team, and that health room is where blue can flank. So if red can control both the rocket area and the health room, then they can control this cart really easily. But blue, all the way at the top of the hill, with 3 minutes remaining, if they can turn this corner, it may be good night for control.
Yeah, this corner is a really good point of contention, especially for red side. If they can hold them at this corner, it can be life or death for blue side most of the time. Seems like red side's control got a little bit of a hold on them, but they're sneaking by. They're slowly getting around that corner. Once that shield is facing the checkpoint, it becomes immensely harder, especially because of that rocket spawn being right behind them. So, we'll have to see how they handle this now that they've gotten past that point.
Yeah, you actually can't even see over the payload at this point with 3 dashes from red spawn. You can't get there from 3. I don't know if you can even get there with 4. So very difficult. If you get a team wipe, it's deadly for red side because blue team can just push that payload right through if they're able to kill everyone on red.
Yeah, I guess I've never thought about it like that. That's true. That makes sense as to why this map can be so freaking frustrating sometimes. So they've got a good hold
it's
here
like
so
it's
far.
similar.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yep, definitely. You see those rockets set up by Calamity back in the back there, and those will be difficult to take out because blue doesn't really have a flanking option there, except for very far around, which is not really viable. I've
And that's
never really
checkpoint.
seen it used. Checkpoint there, 7 minutes and 20, not bad, but definitely could be better. See Taser trying to clear out the flank here. And he will go to flank. Already sees one. Kills. Good kill there on mini turret. Takes the
Scratches
dash.
his nose,
He's in
makes sure
flank.
that he's all good to go.
He ran past someone there, just completely ignored them. And he'll see them behind there. Not sure if that was him checking his menu or our
Ooh, what a
caster.
sneak kill on cars there.
That it was the caster. Because if he was checking his menu, I would say, what are you doing there, man? Although, guilty of that. Very often, checking my menu, seeing how many kills I have, and then I just get blasted.
For sure. Yeah, no, I get that. Wow, quick kill on Calamity by Rusty there. Looks like blue has started to kind of sort of take control of Jelly Room. Looks like they're trying to double slash triple stack maybe. Mostly a double stack though. Rusty being our main cart focus here. Looks like he's trying to make sure that SC room is held.
This point is tricky for blue for a couple reasons. First of all, it seems so easy. It's such an easy push, but some teams can actually push through much quicker than others. How easily you're able to stack. It's a really stackable point in the map. You can put multiple people on the payload because it's just a straightaway and there's no way for red to approach. They don't have a ledge at the end to do rockets. They don't have a flank to go around. It's one way. It's only main rail. There's no other rails. There's no pickups around the cart. It's just straight up. Put your nose in, get yourself dirty, and just jump on that cart, and that makes it very difficult for red. Taser in spawn, takes the dash, gets a kill, but falls.
Then you start looking for that side flank to try and push behind them, possibly. And he does get there.
Drops in that health groove, but falls. Taser, looking in the health room here, he's uncritical. A tiny bit of health, and he'll jump for it. There, rockets are up on red, but we see...
Oh, he was looking for them rockets, but he couldn't quite get them before taking out. So Cars, low health, but on rockets, he's got to get to that health before he can really do anything else.
Red just got a near team wipe. They'll surely be looking to set up here if they get that final kill.
Ooh, rockets taken out. Sandman looking for that side health to try and push up a little bit.
Yep, he'll reveal. Will drop up, but does not meet anyone for the second peek. Where is he getting shot from? Oh man, that's just brutal. Car's able to get the superior positioning on him. And blue, looking lively in Jelly Room. 4 minutes and 15 halfway through Jelly. And you can just see this disruption from Meep, the team's top scorer right now. I think that's 4. I think it's 4 kills and falls to Taser.
It would have been 3.
Ah. Taser getting a good ride here.
Yeah,
Hits
taking
the
a look at the
charge shot.
scoreboards overall, it seems to be UNSC is leading in terms of killing power, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Control is behind by any means. Control power and or killing power and cart focus are they're two very different things, and so it's still anyone's game. Don't quote me on that. So we'll see where it goes from here. 3:30 entering the final room. So
this second half of Jelly Room is where the advantage really starts to come up for Red. The spawn advantage is very great. The high ground, the pickups, the health, everything goes to Red here. If you look at statistics, which I'm quite a nerd about, I don't think I've ever met anyone as much of a nerd about Dash League statistics as I am. But if you can look at statistics for specific points of the map, KDs for Red and Blue, and at this point in the map, like, Red just outkills Blue statistically so high. Because it's impossible. You have to basically sacrifice yourself if you're Blue to even push that card a tiny bit.
yeah, there really is no way to get good cover once you enter this room other than the shield on your own cart, and we all know how to kind of work around that on Red and Blue sides, so that kind of makes the point moot. So once you enter this room, it's really just up to group ups and how well you can clear an area, because this final room is so wide open, it's ridiculous. You can see it here. It's just so open, and there's up and down, mainly up for Red side. There's catwalk, there are the 2 pillars. I mean, it's one kill after another if you can't get a decent group up. That being said, UNSC is still doing a fantastic job at 90.5% with 2 minutes remaining. Excellent job of making sure that card is getting pushed.
Yep, the high ground, the long-range accuracy, it's just going to all come into play here in these later percentage points. As you see, UNSC passes 90%, a good score for this map already. But lots of teams at this point, they'll get a good score and then they'll become complacent because they don't realize that the difference between 92 and 93 at this point can be huge because of just how long it takes to push that card up the hill. Calamity dropping in his low
hill
health.
there is worth about 7% if I'm not mistaken. So bottom of hill to top to hill, it really does make a difference at the end of the day. Good kill by Meep on Rusty, looking to maintain some forward pressure and keep them from the cart on that main rail. Gets taken out by Rusty anyway. Rusty is one of the fastest people I know. He gets from A to B so fast. I don't understand it.
Yep, for sure. And like the thing about this is we may see UNSC take a big lead here because of how far they've gotten. But for Blue side, once you get to a certain point in the hill, nothing is certain. You could be 1% away with 5 minutes, and you would never be sure that you were able to push it that 1% up the hill. That's how hard this point is.
No, that's for sure. We are seeing some micro pushes, but if UNSC wants to get 100% on this map, which I'm assuming they do, they're going to need to have another good. They realistically have time for like 1, maybe 2 at most good push-ups before it's over for them.
Great
so,
engagement.
10 seconds remaining.
Getting 2 Blue players, and UNSC will set up for overtime.
2-1. Is there an overtime? There is not. That is it. UNSC takes the win for so far.
Quick rockets from Control are able to kill the overtime. And we switch sides. UNSC with 93.36%.
Now let's get a look at that Red side rollout on UNSC's part. Possibly.
Yep, we'd love to see that. I'd love to see who picks up the heavies, who takes each dash on this Red rollout. It'll be interesting to know if they'll be able to command those effectively because, to be honest, Control, I did not really see a lot of heavies control from Control control from control until later on in the map when they picked up rockets. I did not see a strong shock presence, so it'd be interesting if we do see that shock presence on UNSC.
Rusty on his shotguns, wow, just as per usual, absolutely ripping
Gets
up
two,
the
gets
immediate
three.
playing field.
Thanks to Dash.
He's on a
That is
4K right
four.
now.
4 kills from Rusty.
5.
And just seeming infinite Dash. 5, he is oozing Dash. Dash
And
is
he's
oozing out of
out.
his ears. Falls
Oogie
to the mini
Boogie
turret.
throwing a fit,
Oogie
gets killed
Boogie
by mini turret.
raising his hand.
Just incredible.
Yeah, haven't
killing power from
seen-
both teams, honestly.
Yeah, haven't seen that Heavy's presence, but they may just be saving it for later. They
Yep.
may not think that that shock. You can see the shock is up right now. Nobody's really taking it.
Yeah,
They
I
may
mean,
just
you mentioned
think
it
it's more
earlier,
worthwhile
but
away from later.
the shocks on this map are definitely more important. But if you don't have anyone on your team who can realistically run shocks, it's better to just wait until they enter water room to start running rockets. You know, because you can have all the time in the world and still get stopped on that hill from base of sniper ledge all the way up to rocket. So you know, it's still anyone's game as of this point. We could see control get pre-checked by UNSC, or we could see a fantastic first play here by control. So to be determined as of this moment, but you know, we'll keep it going.
Yep, for sure. As the enter water room, 4 minutes. I believe UNSC had 3 minutes remaining at the top of the hill. So Control has their work laid out for them here.
So they do. A minute to make it all the way through water room. For any of those who may not be tracking, is absolutely crazy. Because you basically have to keep control of cart the entire time on your way through water room and all the way up to the top of the hill. So in order to do that, you've got to have some really strong forward presence, and it seems like UNSC knows that and is really trying to make sure that that forward presence cannot make it up there. They really want to make sure that that cart stays empty as long as possible.
You saw a UNSC or a Control group up there, but largely squashed. The flanker to take out heavies that were not there was taken out. The rocket, or not the rocket, the cart rider was taken out, and so the push was squashed. But another push here pushes them to about 16, and they near the bottom of the hill. They need to turn that corner and start looking it up. Before they turn that corner, every inch is going to be paid for dearly.
For sure. So now we're about 30 seconds behind where UNSC was at this current moment. Control is going to really have to put together some good group ups and start triple stacking if they want to meet the same time. Now, meeting the same time by control point doesn't necessarily mean anything as long as they can make up that time later, but with the size of Abyss and, you know, how long it takes, how hard it is to get certain percentages, there really is no time to make up. So they're going to have to really work on, they're going to really have to work here in this first few minutes.
Yeah, that extra time just means everything for Blue, because that's how you get those extra percentage points up the final hill. You can see that was just the toughest push for UNSC, getting those final percentage points, but because they had so much time, they were able to just push it inch by inch. And Control won't have that time if they don't make a big push here.
For sure, yeah. No, Survoid really taking up as much space as he can, trying to take out members of UNSC as quickly as humanly possible to give the cart as much time as possible. Taken out by Sandman, who then takes out Meep. Cart is stopped again with 1:48 on the clock. They are really starting to hit that struggle point. Sandman takes out Survoid and is just waiting for more members of Control to push forward. Taken out by Meep. Looks like they're going to try and hit Cart for a few seconds, but with 1:30 left, they're a little bit too far behind checkpoint to... I mean, they're going to have some great group ups here if they plan on making it past the checkpoint, honestly.
Yeah, turning that final corner, that's where the miracles happen, is after that final corner. If they don't turn that final corner, I really don't see even a great overtime making this happen for Control. They need to turn that corner.
For sure. This and Launchpad they both share the same issue with the like final parts of so with Launchpad it's the final part of the map, and with Abyss it's the final part of the first board of checkpoint. It's just that last corner really makes all the difference. It can mean 7 or 8% even of the map, and that really comes down to, it really boils down to that. Oogie Boogie on a 5K right now. Crusader on rockets waiting for that cart to come up.
Yeah, and like on those more intricate maps, like Launchpad and Canyon, you see there's lots of different ways to approach the pre-check, right? You can go through different doors, you can go down different ways. In Abyss, it is cut and dry. There's one way. You go down the main rail, you go into flank, you kill rockets, you take it out. No team, even Dasher, has ever done it any differently. That's just the way that it's cut out for here. And UNSC knows that, and Control knows that, and UNSC doing their job beautifully. Protecting those rockets.
Disgusting kill by Crusader there.
Insane.
4 dashes followed by a... And that's it! Wow, I wasn't even paying attention to the clock. UNSC takes the win with a pre-check. Wow. Alright, let's get a look at those scores. Why don't you take it from here quick?
Sure, we got Rusty leading the charge for Red with a whopping 75 and 45 with 82,000. Oogie Boogie falling in with 62, Sandman with 57, Taser with 52, and Crusader VR with 23. And on blue, we got Servoid Meep, Calamity, Mini Turret, Cars with 49, 50, 33, 51, and 40. 93 to 24, UNSC takes map 1.
Now, I don't know if this was accidental or on purpose, but we've got a drop from UNSC. I'm hoping that was accidental. Because, you know, leaving before the end of the map.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it seems like it was accidental then in that case, but Dark Ghost taking the place of someone. It just, guys, if you're going to leave a map, make sure you wait until the end of the, make sure you wait until the end of that little, like, here's the scores thing, because the casters on the board and everybody who's taking a score, they're going to need that.
Yep. Be courteous to your casters, people. They do so much. Thank the casters in your life.
For real.
But yeah, devastating first map for Control. Looked like it was going well until second half payload there. See lots of drops here.
Checking the comments right now. M-Dub's saying that, oh, okay. Well, we're probably muted now.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Nice.
No, you're good, you're good, you're good.
Nice. Great first map, I thought.
Yeah,
I interrupted you a couple times.
Yeah,
but,
I think there's just a lag between the two of us that's making it a little difficult, but honestly, we're bouncing off each other pretty well, so.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Sick.
Nice.
Yeah, I was checking the comments. Fucking M-Dub's saying that Sandman's playing with an injury tonight, apparently.
I have never played with an injury before. One time I had a bloody nose in the middle of a map.
Alright, sounds good. Oh.
And here... Oh.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Here we are. Domination Quarry, everyone's favorite map. Quarry. I think it gets too much hate, to be honest. I like
Hey,
Quarry.
it may get too much hate, but it's kind of deserved hate. Personally, I don't mind Quarry occasionally, but even Volcano has more of a it's got more dynamics to it, I guess. I don't know. Quarry just feels really straightforward.
What's your 6 maps in order in terms of how fun they are?
My 6 maps? Okay.
Yeah.
My 6 maps would be Canyon, Launchpad. Yeah, it would be Canyon, Launchpad, Waterway, and then it'd be Volcano, Abyss, and Quarry. That's my lineup.
Wow, we have some opposing views, I must say.
Well, I also didn't play when the maps were colors, so you know, it's a pub player's view. I'm a free-to-play player. What can I say?
Yeah, I have some old bias, but I gotta say, if I had to pick a favorite map, I'd have to go with Volcano. I just love Volcano. I love the positioning. I love the rolls. Volcano first, then I'd say Waterway, always a fun time. I think it just plays to my strengths. I'm not a very good payload player. And then third, I would go Launchpad, and then I would say Quarry, Canyon, Abyss.
Yeah, that's not a bad lineup.
Not a
I
Canyon
see where you're coming
fan.
from.
Yeah.
I don't
Canyon
know.
gets
It's
too much
just
love.
Canyon does get a lot of love. I think it's mainly because I'm a Rocketeer most of the time that I get a lot of love for Canyon. It's that wall, man. That wall makes up a whole hell of a lot of difference. So
Wild. You have to have no skill. You just sit on top of the spawn with like rockets or SMGs, and you just point at the cart and pull the trigger, and you just get kills because what can blue do?
hey, you know, I like to think that I move around a decent amount even when they haven't fully rounded that corner, but you know, you'd have to check my gameplay for that. So
It's like when I'm red and I come out of spawn and I'm just like checking my menu, I'm just like chilling, I'm saving up my dash, and I got shot in the back of the head, and then I spawn again and I searched the whole red spawn for like a minute, and then I just wasted a minute looking throughout the whole red spawn because there's no one there. And it just makes me so mad because, just like all the hiding places, all the nooks and crannies. It's just not my favorite.
yeah. Yeah, I think they talked about that in the Dashcast and the Triangle Factory live stream. Like the placement of like SMGs and all that is just it makes the map weird for sure. But yeah, I did want to mention real quick. We've got 24 people watching the stream and only 16 likes. Where's the rest of you? Where's the other 8 of you?
Where are you not liking it? Do you not like the stream?
Like the stream. I know my voice is grating to listen to, but I still expect a like.
Yes, comment your favorite map in the chat.
Let's see it.
Here we go. UNSC versus Control. Quarry.
Oh, and we're
starting out.
getting going. All right, cool.
Starts in 3, 2,
Yeah, we have this rollout here, pretty standard. It's looking like
Blue takes C.
3 players
Red takes B.
going tunnel here.
First elimination.
And we'll
I love
see
how
that
the
tunnel
standard
engagement.
rollout is always 5 people hanging out at the same door. That makes me laugh every time.
Yep, for sure. And let's get some insight.
Got a countdown for Control already.
Scores in 3.
Great control, no pun intended here, from Control. But UNSC caught sitting on their hands early, but they're able to push forward and now taken out. But yeah, that early tunnel control from Control was able to just really put a damper on that UNSC rollout, and we have a red sandwich here. Yeah, Quarry, definitely a match where you're able to just get caught sitting on your hands, not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you're in a countdown and you're just sitting in your spawn. It's tough. It's tough to get those
one of those
countdowns.
maps. This is honestly one of those maps where it's just like, you know, you could have control of the entire map almost, and then it's just suddenly transferred. Like just then we had a countdown for UNSC, and now we've got A and C controlled by Control. I mean, it's back and forth consistently all the time, and it makes it really hard. I don't know, like I've only commentated on a few matches so far, but it makes it really hard for me personally to, you know, keep up with what's going on.
Yep, in case anyone cares, for a quick draw statistic here, Quarry is actually the map with the least counters and the most high success rate of countdowns by either team. The lowest of both of those stats is Waterway. Waterway gets countered the most, Quarry gets countered the least. It's just more difficult for teams to counter on Quarry because those buttons are just so far apart, and it's hard to get to your button from spawn in 3 dashes. It's not possible.
unless you take Thresh.
Mini turret.
Red team scores.
Got a
A.
countdown for
UNSC with a
UNSC.
countdown.
Blue takes
Countered at C, and blue takes the ends. Now only C. Rusty pushing to B. Waits on the dash spawn. A good B control there from red. He'll drop down low. They'll go high-low. Rusty following his teammate mid someone in tunnel. Quick headshot. Good headshot there from Rusty. On a millimeter of health, he falls to Cards, who kills both but does not get the counter. UNSC will have a countdown.
Countered.
Another countdown.
Man, lots of trades for
Man,
countdowns here. Kill by Calamity on Rusty at B, trying to retake control of B here. Looks like he's gotten it as far as I'm concerned, but now it's going to be up to him and his teammates to push forward into that into A for that UNSC base control.
Red team countered. Red takes B.
Yep, and in terms of
Blue takes
killing, we've got a very lopsided UNSC scoreboard. You can see Sandman and M-Dubs with 12 and 13 kills, but the rest of their team is combining for only 18 altogether.
You know, I gotta agree with you there, but Control also has the same sort of issue. It's 16 and 11 for the top two, Meep and Calamity, followed by Mini Turret, Servoid, and Cars following up with single-digit kills, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you can see who's really leading the charge in terms of button presses and kills.
Yeah, this is unlike any other domination map in that you could easily roll out to any button and not meet anyone on your way. Just because there's so many doorways, so many paths, so many ways to get to every button that your roll could easily involve you not meeting anyone if you do it right. And ideally you wouldn't. So easy to hide in the base, get those countdowns, get those counters. That there's lots of sneaky play in Quarry that you don't really see anywhere else, and that's what makes it an interesting and fun map.
Red takes C. Red
Blue
Cars
in a
taking over
sandwich.
B.
Red team countered.
It's my favorite thing to say. Countdown. Countered by Control at C once again.
It's my last chance to save on McAfee Plus. Good to know.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to say as a caster is when one team, like if UNSC is controlling A and C, then I get to say we have a blue sandwich. Countdown! Another countdown! Oh, taking it.
5.5 minutes in, we've seen a lot of countdowns, but no one has put a point on the board
Another
yet.
one.
UNSC looking to change
2.
that. Oh.
Prevented.
Man, Sandman just like diving in and out between 5 or 6 players. Not 5 or 6, 4 or 5.
Red team countered.
Yep, and the reason this is such a difficult map to play because it's so hard to kill everyone all at once. You can't kill all 5 of them. It's so hard. There's so rarely a team wipe. And oh, so close from UNSC. They get it down to under a second, but Control able to counter at B. UNSC is unable to cover every button. It's so impossible. And so,
Yeah, I mean, personally, if we see a point on the board from anyone, if it can get another point on the board, we're going to definitely see a sudden death. I feel like if one person can get a point on the board and then just keep that point on the board, then that might be the end of our game here. But, you know, it depends on a lot of factors. Quarry is a make or break for a lot of people. For me, it's a break, personally, but...
For me, it has to be a make. I love Quarry. There was a sprinter tier. Now, I've obviously, if you're playing a team who's very good at Quarry, it can be a very frustrating map. And I've definitely gotten stomped on Quarry before by a team that was just better than me. One time in a sprinter tier matchup, I dropped 28,000. Not trying to brag. but I will. It was quite impressive. I was quite impressed with myself. I was very happy.
Blue team
We did
scores
win.
in 3, 2,
Control the countdown.
They
2-1.
Oh, countered by
Will they
Rusty.
fold? They will not. Rusty.
Wow, a lot of really close
Spy
countdowns
dog.
here.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Rusty trying to push up into their base, but yeah, no, 28,000 is nothing to laugh at. That's a
Blue
really
takes
good
A.
score.
blue takes C.
I don't know. I think the best I've ever performed
Sure.
on Quarry was today, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the hilarious thing, I like to call it the quick draw stat line because I actually went negative on KD.
Blue team
I often do.
scores in
I
3
just pushed a lot of
counters.
buttons.
Blue team scores
Just
Hey, you
playing
know
my
what?
role
In a
and
map
it
like
gave me
this,
a lot
that's
of
what
opportunities.
matters.
So I kind of got lucky.
In 3, 2 countered.
Yep.
Cheeky little
Counter from
5K by
Rusty.
Meep there.
Red takes B.
Yeah, and looks like we got Meep leading the charge right now with kills.
Red team
28.
countered.
Countdown
Most
for
of
UNSC
anyone.
quickly countered.
Red team scores countered. Red
Another
red
countdown.
team
I think we've seen
countered.
equal countdowns from both teams. A really good matchup here. The closest one being from Control, who got a countdown under a second. It was about 0.5 when UNSC was able to counter.
Red takes B.
You know, I would love to see a 0-0 sudden death. That would be the best thing ever. Because I don't think I've seen one ever before.
I hate Quarry sudden death. I've played more Quarry sudden deaths than any other sudden death. And it is just, it's so frustrating. Because, you know, you just roll out, you have a bad rollout, you get killed, and boom, there's the match.
Scores in 3.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but if you're looking for a oh my God, they score. Control scores. Wow, I didn't even. I was not even paying attention.
Red chokes the headshot. They dive in, try to get the counter, but they're taken out by a teammate who was aiming at the button.
2.
That was a great play there by Control. A decoy holding the button on the side
Red takes
purposefully. I mean, it may have been purposeful, but to try to get the UNSC player to jump around the wrong side to try to get the headshot and taken out by a teammate. Just great teamwork there. You know that was planned. At least
Yeah,
the
I mean,
whole
after
setup was.
after 10 minutes, that is something to behold. I mean, I know if it takes me 10 minutes for either team to score, it's like, oh, come on, man. And I bet UNSC is feeling that right now. Like they feel like they could be doing better, and you know I've been there, and so we'll see how they react to that first point being scored by Control there. Again,
Mini
sorry to
Turret with
Control,
some
I wasn't
great
even paying attention.
scores in 3.
There,
2.
Control with the countdown. 2-1. Will they knock in another?
Wow!
They will.
Another
2-0
point!
Control. M-Dubs kicking himself.
Oh my goodness! Wow, Control is really trying to
really
make up for that
nothing
payload.
to do there.
1.
There wasn't really anything that
Blue
any of
takes
those
C.
red players around the button could have
Red takes
done
B.
better, but
First and
Blue just a masterful hold. It's so easy
Blue takes A.
to sit on your hands and knock yourself after you've
Red
just
team
lost a point.
scores countered.
Countdown for
And that is
UNSC,
exactly
quickly
what
countered.
happened. That is exactly what happened to UNSC, and Control knocks in too.
Wow, just incredible performance by Control here. Really, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 3-0 here by Control, leading us to a control point. But that being said, honestly, all Control has to do here is hold out. You know, you could with 2-0 and 13 minutes left on a map like Quarry with a map or a team this like close together. Turtling out in your own base, honestly, is not that bad of an idea. The only bad part is waiting the entire 13 minutes. So, you know, we'll see how Controls deals with this. I think they're looking for that 3-0 though. Definitely good for seed ranking purposes for the finals here. Lots of trades
Yeah,
at B
you
as
know,
well.
I'd say that if I was Control here, I would definitely avoid that turtling strategy. If I think they'll go for the 3-0 out out of trying to get more ranking points, and also just because they think that that'll be the better strategy, because you take a strong killing team that UNSC out-killed them so hard on the last
Countered
map.
by UNSC, are we going to see a point here? My goodness, quickly countered.
We will
What a
not-
counter.
Great counter by Control there.
Sorry,
But
Quick,
yeah,
I don't mean to interrupt you
definitely.
there, but
Yeah, no. The game interrupted. That was a great countdown there. But anyway, I would just say, like, turtling in your base is only really a viable strategy if you don't think the other team can reliably team wipe you. And I think we've seen that UNSC definitely able to have the killing power to do that. So if you turtle in your base on this map, you can blunder because the other team, you're all bottled up. So the other team can team wipe you if they just all rush in as a group, and then it's just a free point.
that's a really good point to make, especially for these higher tier teams. Like, I'm very, very proficient in Walker and Sprinter team plays, so turtling sounds like a good idea to me most of the time. But once you get up to this level of Control and UNSC, it really does not become viable unless you've got like 2 minutes left and you're 2-0. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we may see a turtle later, but I think that Control is going to go with the general Dasher strategy of offense being the best defense, and they'll try to knock in a third one here. Definitely good for their ranking if they do, especially if they do it quickly. But UNSC controlling two now, and they'll get a
countdown by
countdown.
UNSC. 2,
Two up,
1. Are we
two
going to
up
see a
for
point?
Control.
Oh my goodness! Quick counter.
Oh, and a brutal counter at A.
Wow, Control using their name to their advantage, but
UNSC.
quick countdown by UNSC.
Yeah, that was really the moment that they had to hold. They had to get that point. That was the play that they ran. That was the setup that they got. Everything put into their hands, and they just weren't able to hold on.
Man, it's times like these that I wonder what these comms sound like. Because like I know our comms can get chaotic sometimes, but in a match like this, that's this fast paced, like I cannot imagine what the comms sound like right now. It must be off the walls.
Yeah, and they're going in that wave format that's so familiar to any map. You can't really play it on Volcano, but you play it on Waterway and Quarry. You just push forward as a group. You take your base, you clear your base, then you push to B as a group. You take B, and then you go to the other base as a group, right? You wave format, but it's less viable on Quarry, but still viable.
Yeah, for sure. We've had a few countdowns by UNSC here, but they keep getting taken over by 2 or 3 seconds remaining on the clock for a point. So I don't know. Control is doing a really good job here of letting them think they've got it in the bag and then taking it right from under their noses. So UNSC might have to change up their strategy here, but we'll see how this goes out, because it's been UNSC countdown after UNSC countdown after UNSC countdown, and Control is just really taking over. It's at B, and then it's at A, and sometimes it's at C. They keep taking the points that are least expected, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I may be imagining this, but I think I can just see UNSC playing a little angrily here. The way that they're shooting, they're just dashing so quickly. They're not really taking their time, and like they're trying to fuel that anger into getting a point. And it's led to a lot of countdowns, but they're not put together countdowns. They're just countdowns. And
yeah, I mean, when I'm in a situation like
able
this,
to just sit back, save the dash, and get count.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm in a situation like this, 8 minutes remaining on the clock, especially for Quarry, which 8 minutes is not a lot of time. If I'm in 8 minutes left with a 2-0 deficit, then I'm gonna be angry, but I'm gonna be focusing that on making sure that I make sure I get points, make sure I get kills, and you can definitely see that. Quick countdown by Control, quickly countered by Sandman though. So, you know, control is definitely
Yeah.
still in the game.
Blue takes C.
Yeah, they may be going with kind of like a half turtle strategy here in the late minutes, just controlling B and their base, really just pushing to B, because if you can, it can take the other team a long time to catch on to the fact that you're doing it, and before they do, it's really easy to just control B. Let the other team think they're getting countdowns, think they're making plays, think that what they're doing is working. It's a mind game. It's just like the secrecy games you play. If you can just play this B holding strategy, the other team will get countdowns, but you will always get counters. And if you're a team that's getting a lot of countdowns, but the other team is just countering, you're gonna think that what you're doing is good, and you're gonna keep playing that way. But you're not gonna realize that control is just countering every single time.
Yeah, it's a really smart way to look at it. I never would have thought to think about it like that. Yes. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It does seem like that's the way that the game is rolling right now. It's quick countdown and then quick counter, and there'll be a bunch of back-to-back countdowns, but there will also be a bunch of back-to-back counters. And you know, with only 6 minutes remaining, I can't imagine that UNSC is going to see any. Unless they can get a point, there's really not any benefit to that.
Yeah, you can see these blue players taking that long route. That's the route that you only take if you're going to just go straight to B. They control B, they push into this lobby here, and they take control of that base. They have to get it down every once in a while. Yeah, and that's the great thing about the versatility of the B control strategy, is that if you take out a bunch of players at B and you have a team at B, the next step is just to push to their base. And then you get a countdown, you make them reset, you make them sit back, and you waste a minute. And then you waste another minute. And then you push out and you control B for a while. And that's just the way that you play when you're up 2-0. It's the positioning, it's the mind games, the hiding. It's so interesting. This is why I love watching Quarry maps so much better than I enjoy playing them.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you there. I'd much rather watch a quarry map than I would actually play one. Maybe that's just because I'm not a big fan of playing them. Quick counters by control there. UNSC had some countdowns, but not fully taken. Another one. Back to back to back to back.
Yeah, you can see Meep hiding in the base. He knows he doesn't have to run in there and kill the whole team. He knows he doesn't have to. He can just sit in their base, wait for the button to turn, run out and counter. And he can just keep cycling that, and that's the way that you win Quarry. Countdown from control.
By control. Are we going to see a win? Oh my god, it was a team wipe! Wow, and control finishes it up with 4.5 minutes left.
And this will be interesting for the rating. A very positional, very strategic matchup here.
Let's go into the positions on the board real quick. We've got Mini Turret on control with 60 and 48, 15,000 score, following it up by Meep with 57 and 48 with a 13,000 score. On UNSC, we've got M-Dubs with a 48-47 with 15,000 points, and Russie with a 57-46 with 13,000 points. Not even top killing on their board, though, with Sandman in third at 58 and 46, 12,000 points. What a game. What a game. That was wild.
Great stuff to see there. And now I don't even know what to think for the control point, because, you know, like, that payload, such a kill-based map there. Such a kill-based matchup. And then UNS, or the Quarry, was all about positioning. It was all about positioning. And now you have Stadium, which is just like, what even is Stadium about? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what to think. I don't even know what team, which skill set I like more. Like I said at the beginning of this map, control, winning with the positioning, and UNSC winning with the kills. Like, I don't know which team I like better for a map like Control Point.
Yeah,
I believe it's a double.
I've never seen a game where one team will pre-check another and get 100% or close to 100%, and then in the next round of the game we'll get 0-3'd. Like, this is a crazy close matchup.
Yep,
And
for sure.
it's just because of the different skill levels. UNSC looks like they're trading out a player.
I was on a team like that. It was my first team that I had ever been on. It was Thieves, which was the Bandit sister team.
I remember Thieves.
Yep. That was my first. Well, I did play a little bit back in season 2, but didn't really have time to do much other than just scrim for all the teams and stuff. But the first team that I played a full season with was Thieves, and we were notoriously good at payload and bad at domination. So we would often get that pre-check 0-3 scenario.
All right, well, hey, you quick take over for a little bit. I'm gonna go do something real quick. I gotta mute my mic. I will rejoin you in about 5 minutes. All right.
Of course, of course. Stick around, folks. We'll be starting in just a moment.
All right, I am back.
Wonderful. Just waiting on these teams to start.
All right, did we see any big changes for the lineups? I know Dark Ghost is in here. Looks like Control is the same lineup as before.
Yep, are they setting up yet?
First elimination.
And we're off.
Match starts in 3, 2, 1.
Here
Now.
we go.
Blue team has captured the control.
What are
point.
your thoughts here?
Red team has captured
Quick, what do you think?
Yeah,
in terms of
I'd say
skill?
it's really interesting.
Blue team
UNSC
has
taking an
captured
early
the
lead
control
here, but
point.
it's really interesting to see who fulfills what roles and how those roles are carried out. Usually, what you have is you have one person who's just the button presser. They just press because if you have multiple people going for the button all the time, it just wastes dash and it's not effective for your team. So you usually have just one person, maybe two, going for the dash at all times. Then you have one person going on either side of the map, right and left, and taking those matchups. Not sure if these teams are here going with that strategy, but it looks like they are. So interesting to see how that plays out. Controlling the enemy's dash, very important. Hiding around enemy spawn. Interesting to see how that goes. Control, the ability to hold, all factors that are going to come into play, and I can't tell you right now who I think is going to be better at each one.
Yeah, I mean, overall so far, they've been keeping it really close. One team will get, 5 or 6 points ahead of the other one, and then all of a sudden the other team just takes over, and it's 5 or 6 points ahead of the other one, and then back and forth and back and forth. But it seems like UNSC is really keeping a hold here so far. They seem to have the most control over the center point here, so.
Yeah, I really think in this matchup, in this map, there's no lead less than 30. There's any lead less than 30, it's not a lead, because the other team can get a quick wipe and pull right back, because it's such a close and such a volatile map. It's hard to really pull ahead dramatically.
Yeah, that's true. Especially with teams this close together in skill, as we've seen through the other two maps today. Usually I don't like to say that necessarily because every team has their own set of skill, but Control and UNSC both have their own, their own maps that they absolutely excelled at. So Control Point being the final end-all be-all is really it's really to be determined. UNSC here, though, taking a 15-ish second point lead. It really seems like UNSC is controlling the center point more effectively than Control is, but that is to be determined. Again, there's 300 points on the board for either team, so whoever can reach that first, it's really up to. There's points during this game where it can really turn around.
Yeah, you can see that that lowest killer on each team, M-dubs and looks like Cars, perhaps, getting a lot of lion's share of points. I'm not sure if we have a dedicated button presser. I don't think I've seen one. It may just be everyone. You can actually go for pretty good just everyone going for the button if you have Discord comms, because then you can call out who's taking the button, and then you can say mine and you can take the button. So if they have Discord comms, they may be running that sort of strategy, but interesting matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think there's been a point where there's been more than a 20-second difference between the two teams, so really impressive matchup here. Looks like M-dubs has taken the lead for UNSC with 12 kills and 17 deaths with the most points, and Servoy taken first with 16 kills, 14 deaths with the most points. It seems like Control is honestly kind of carrying in terms of killing power right now, which isn't necessarily as important as it could be for a map like this, because button focus is definitely the thing you want to be focused on. But I mean, if you have killing power and you have the ability to continue putting points up on the board, that's definitely important. So we'll see if that's going to get them anywhere or not.
Yeah, it's like less important to be that killing power team. Less important, not entirely unimportant on this map, because there's really no wipes. You don't really wipe the other team. Like, unless you kill all 5 in a very short span, there's always going to be someone else rushing the button from the other team. if you kill them over a span anything longer than maybe 5 seconds, then by the time you kill the 5th guy, the other guy's already up and running right at the button again. So that killing power, less important, still important, but yeah, UNSC still able to maintain around a 20-point lead here over Control despite lagging behind and killing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it seems like UNSC had one moment where they were really able to get ahead, and they've just stayed ahead ever since. So Control, if they want to get back into the same realm as UNSC, they're gonna have to really put up a button-focused, extra kills type feed as they want to. Now UNSC taking over 30 points ahead of where they were at. That's doubling our original guesstimation as to where they were at. 190 to 153. Control is really struggling here to take control of that button.
Yeah, really big wipe there from UNSC, and they may extend their lead. 200, wow, almost 50-point lead from UNSC, a 40-point lead now. But yeah, you could see they got a wipe there, killed everyone on Control, and that was when they were able to really extend their lead.
Yeah, Control is just really struggling to get back up to that equal footing. You know, UNSC is just slowly increasing that gap between the two of them. It was 15 to start, then it was 20, now it's 40 almost. And it's staying that way. Control is going to have to get a few extra seconds here and there if they want to be in the running for a control point like this, but UNSC is constantly putting pressure on them, making it really difficult for them to get any kind of, not even lead, just any kind of hope of getting close to where UNSC is at right now.
Yeah, and we're getting to the point where as Control shaves the lead down to about, I was going to say 30, yeah, about 30 now, shaves the lead to about 30, but they're at the point where they really can't just get points here and there. They have to get a wipe. They have to get a long control because UNSC can just poke. UNSC only has about 60 points left to go. Control has to get 100, which means they have to nearly double their opponent's efficiency in this last half to pull off a miracle.
Yeah, and it just really feels like that every time Control is able to get the button, that UNSC clears them out entirely and retakes it for double that time. And they're Control really having a hard time with trying to cope with that, trying to figure out how they can work around them. Now we see UNSC hitting just about 250 with only 15 seconds left to go. Meanwhile, Control is still lagging behind at 218 right now. They're going to need to make up that difference if they intend on, maintaining the win here. It's still a one-on-one game, and it can be anyone's game. But UNSC is really trying to go out here and put a distance between the two of them.
Yeah, UNSC has not closed the door, but their hand is on the knob. 262, under 40 points to go, and Control just desperate here, poking, trying to get those kills. But if you take a look at the scoreboard, you can just see how much of blue is dead at any given time. They're just rushing in, they're just blitzing because they know that's what they have to do, and it's not working out for them.
Yeah, we've got a lot of killing power on blue side, but red side, even though the killing power is not necessarily the same, the score difference, I can imagine, is very different because it seems like everyone on UNSC's side is just really focusing on making sure that the button is pressed. With 287 on UNSC's side and counting, very little time to go, 10 seconds left for UNSC and still counting. Blue side not being able to take control.
Into poke mode. They can afford now to get health because now they can get health, they can get dash because they can afford to only poke.
I'm seeing a different screen now, but it looks like control. Okay, there we go. And that's it. UNSC wins.
They take the win. This is not the end of the match, I believe. We're seeing a server switch, but
oh, is there a double CP?
It should be double CP in matches, shouldn't it? Unless the teams agree.
Might be, actually, now that you mentioned it. I didn't think about it. Let's take a look at the scoreboard, though. In the meantime, regardless, I'll take a photo of it whenever it shows up so that we can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all matches are double CP. There may be an option for the teams to agree to only a single CP. I'm not sure.
So on the
but
side of UNSC, we've got top killing 34 and 42. M-dubs 11,000 score. They're followed up quickly
yeah, not
by
a single
Crusader.
positive killer on UNSC. Just goes to show. And yeah, we see a lot of players leaving here. So this may be a server switch. And here we go. Both
Sick.
teams dropping into the new lobby. We have everyone in except one from Control.
So it looks like we've been running on New York and Dallas, which is, honestly, it's a weird choice. I've not seen a whole lot of teams do a double CP or server switches in general when they're both running US servers. So that just shows how fast the game can change depending on the servers that are even just 1,000 miles apart for teams like this, for Dasher teams like this. When you get up to this level, that ping difference can really mean the world. And it shows here in this match because, again, this is the first time I've seen a team utilize a server switch for another American team.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard double CP especially for Dasher tier teams. I think at least there used to be an option that you didn't have to do double CP if both teams agreed, but I think in Dasher tier it's pretty standard to just do double CP, and I've always seen double CPs in my matches as well. Here we go.
Fair enough, dropping in. Let's see where this gets us. So UNSC took the first matchup by about 40 points. I don't remember exactly where the points were. I'm gonna look back at that now actually to figure out where we need to be.
They need to hit 265 in order to win.
265, okay.
264 to tie. 264 to tie, 265 to win. So Control will be playing with their backs against the wall. Taking an early lead here. Good positioning there from Cards. I don't think we saw a lot of that pocket play early in the last match, but Control taking an early lead here. Yeah, I guess that Dallas server really shining through. Control able to control kills. And they take a 20-point lead here early. Playing angry, UNSC caught sitting on their hands. Control takes this early lead, but UNSC biting back. With a quick control there, but Control just right back on that button. And they extend their lead. 25 now.
Wow, and that quick server switch, I mean, for me it's 30 ping, but that 30 ping difference is clearly a lot because Control is taking a heavy early start. Absolutely pushing ahead against UNSC.
I get about 30 ping on New York, and I get about 70, maybe 80 on Dallas, so...
Yeah, I mean, I get 70 on New York and about 40 on Dallas, so that 30 ping difference is clearly more than I gave it credit for sure.
Yeah, UNSC, I mean, if you think about it, it's literally double the response time from the server. So, to put it into perspective, UNSC may have thought, oh, it's an easy second control point here, but you can just see Control absolutely dominating with kills. Every player on their team is currently going positive. And just great work from Control here, hitting 85. Wow, and they are
double the
already
score.
nearly double the score. This is an insane play from Control here, and they just may be the comeback team of the night if they manage to come back from getting pre-checked and come back from this.
To be fair, Control did get a 3-0 on UNSC here, so honestly, this has been a pretty close matchup, all things considered. I'm really not all that surprised that Control has taken over here once the service switch happened. If there hadn't been a service switch, I would have said that UNSC definitely had it in the bag almost the entire time, bar the control point or the domination. But with a control or with a service switch, like this has been a really, really close match, all things considered. UNSC's honestly closing the gap really well.
They've cut their deficit in half. Used to be down 40, they're now only down about 15. And a great hold there. Servoid, the loner left for his team. Red takes quick control here. Servoid misses the button and dies, and UNSC will draw even closer. They bring it within 10. And both in the same 10s now. Red closing the gap, playing angry. They will not be taken so easily. And you know, they have to be beaten decisively. Control has to not only win, they have to establish a big lead early and keep it.
Blue team has captured the control point. Red team has captured the control point. Blue team
Control has to beat UNSC to the punch. They can't let them just tie. If UNSC can just split the difference, they win.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to on these double CPs. These double CPs can I mean, I don't know about you, but they're stressful for me because, you know, you get one score on one map and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we only have to get this, or well, we have to get to this point in order to get a win, and that can be really stressful or really calming for the individuals. So, you know,
and that's dangerous thinking, right? It's like if you're playing stressed, or if you're playing angry, or if you're playing calm, it can cause you to play worse. If you're just thinking, oh well, we only have to get to this point, then you can get complacent, like UNSC did early on. In Control only leading by 15, it's a sort of like double complacency, where UNSC was complacent and now they're falling behind. In Control is maybe complacent, thinking, oh, we're winning, not realizing just how much they have to be winning by. Control pulling ahead by 30 here. They have to win the map by 35. 36 to be exact to win. Well, 30, they have to win by 36 to tie.
It seems like Control is trying to keep up to that standard of 36, but they're not too far off from it, which means that UNSC is still in the landing for a win here if they can just keep up that same momentum that they've had so far throughout this game. I mean, Control is only holding them by, you know, a little less than 30, so you know, if Control wants to take the win here, they're gonna really have to push up their game.
Yeah, a big hold here could decide it really for either team. If you think about it in terms of Control being within 70 points of their goal, as they are right now, then it doesn't seem so wild.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like we're about to cross into the 200 seconds range, depending on if Control can get it here. Control UNSC taking turns, and we finally cross over into 100 seconds left for one team or the other. UNSC still trailing behind, but only by about 25-ish seconds at any given moment. So, you know, and what was the time that UNSC had to make in order to win this?
They have to get 264 to tie, 265 to win.
264 to tie and 265 to win. That's not too far off, and if they keep up the same,
track to hit that, yeah.
Yeah, no, if they keep up this same amount of difference between the two teams, then UNSC is probably going to take this. So Control's going to have to really get their stuff together, make sure that UNSC slows the heck down.
Yeah, Control about 85 away, UNSC about 65 away. So Control has to outscore by 20 points in this last minute here. Minute or two.
Yeah, that's what makes these double control points deceiving. Like, you play one control point and you lose, and you're like, oh well, we've got another one to prove it, and then you hop in the next one and you're like, oh, well we're 20 points ahead, we're 30 points ahead, and in reality you're really only like a couple points ahead because of the other team only needing so many points. It can be disillusioned for a lot of people. I know it's been
great
a
hold
dissolution
from
process for
Control
me.
here, though.
For sure, yeah,
UNSC,
no.
55 away, Control only 45 away.
They quickly took that back. Wow.
Yeah, Control, if they can just get 40 more seconds, that's all they need. 40 more seconds before UNSC gets 50. All Control has to do is split the difference and they win. But Red with a good hold, they hit 225 and they're closing the gap, only 40 left. Some good holds there. Both teams getting a little bit greedy, trying to get a long hold, and Red will push forward. They'll take the health, they'll take the dash, and they'll disrupt. And that is a big take from Red as they draw within 30. Both teams 30 away from their goal. Control
This is
20.
going to be such a close match. It's hard to watch almost.
Yeah, trying to keep the folks at home updated on how far it is away because it's obviously confusing to understand how close this is. It obviously does not
Control
look
within
close.
10 though. Control is within 10 points of it being
But
over.
they cannot fall into poke mode. They can't let Red get a long hold. Within 5, Control on the edge
3,
of victory.
2.
298.
Oh,
One poke away.
come on, Control. You're right there. And that's it. It's over. Control takes the W for this match.
Absolutely
Wow.
brutal for UNSC. Coming back from a one-map advantage for the second time tonight.
What an upset, too. Wow. I was looking at some of the matches they got thrown up on earlier in the stream. They were, UNSC was taking the win against Control by, it was 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. And Control really just had to show out tonight, and that's really good of them because, Cycle 6, this is going to put them in a really good spot for finals. So, congrats to Control. UNSC really showed out. Someone left from the team before the scores ended, so that's not exactly good, but,
That's
oh, shit,
okay.
I didn't, yeah,
Okay.
I forgot to read top scores, my bad.
It's alright.
Well,
They're not completely lost. They have to be screenshotted, which is unfortunate.
yeah. Well, this has been another Dash League presentation. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'm going to go ahead and take off for the night because I have 24-hour duty tomorrow, so...
Tough.
Tough days indeed, but I will be around, so... Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Not Gollum, Quick Draw McGraw, thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Neat. Pleasure to have you. Good night.